Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Gerald. That's Espo. We get sexy sacks tonight, you guys, because the Phoenix Suns took care of business in overtime in Denver, taking down the Nuggets 117-107. We were all really nervous before this game, but the Suns showed up. They gave us a great outing, and we get to celebrate. This is the best overtime we've had all year.
This man is living his best life right now. This is his everything. Oh, the sax is out.
He's ready, y'all.
The sexy sax is out, and I cannot escape the frame again. I'm trapped in the frame again.
Oh, Gerald, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Honestly, if there was a game that deserved this, I feel like it's this game.
I'm not done, Lindsay.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not done.
Okay.
You got the saxophone. Oh, and you're getting this now. The Phoenix Suns are the sixth best team in the West, but still beat the defending champions. Suck it, Denver. Suck it, Nikola Jokic. Suck it, DNVR.
That was a
I lied.
powerful
It's definitely a trumpet.
Oh, my goodness. Honestly, that's the best part, though, is I know our friends over at DNVR are just, like, melted right now.
Can I do my Eric Weedham impersonation?
Oh, boy.
Love you, DNVR.
Love you guys.
But also, it was really fun to beat your team tonight. Sorry. I mean, honestly, that was exciting. There were ups and downs in this game.
Yes.
There were. I'm not going to lie. But I am thoroughly impressed with this Suns team tonight. They came in shorthanded against the Suns, or without Devin Booker. It hasn't been easy this last couple of weeks.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, and this was a great game and a great outing for them to go through that adversity in real time, make it to overtime, and come out on top when they needed to.
Yeah, I don't know if this is their best win of the season, but it's certainly one of their most resilient wins. To not have Booker, to be facing the defending champs on the road, to be in the middle of this 2-4 rut coming out of the All-Star break, and to do it on a night where KD shoots 14 of 34 and Bradley Beal shoots 6 of 18. Like, they shot through their shooting struggles. KD was great in the first half. He struggled in the second half. And then in OT, he took over. He outscored the Nuggets by himself. Like, this was a really resilient win, and especially to do it shorthanded. I was really impressed. We thought this could be a beatdown on the Nuggets' part, and instead they go out there, they gain the lead. Denver fights back. They lose this double-digit lead that they had, and they still come out and swing first in OT, outscore them 15-5. Like, that is a quality win, and that is the resilience and heart we've been wanting to see from the Suns and have only seen every now and then, but this was a fantastic win.
This was the guttiest win of the entire season. And we were critical. I won't say we. Gerald wasn't here. Lindsay was a bystander. I was critical of Kevin Durant the other night for what happened in the fourth. But what he did in particular in that OT was vintage Kevin Durant. And I genuinely apologize for questioning your game in last postgame. He himself outscored the Nuggets 8-5 in overtime. He hits 2 big threes after they all struggled in the fourth. We saw the same fourth quarter problems that we've seen throughout the year, but this time they hung in tough. And when they got the shot in overtime, Kevin Durant took care of business. So kudos to Kevin Durant for coming out and doing the damn thing tonight. Because that, I think he shot himself out of whatever was going on in that fourth quarter, or excuse me, in that overtime
We
by
give
itself.
him the last 25 seconds of the fourth quarter too, because if that first three, that was the first three he made all night, all night. And if that, but if that shot didn't fall, we wouldn't have gone to overtime.
Yeah,
We would have lost this game.
He hits 3 in the final 5:25.
Yeah.
You count the 5
He was
in
what,
overtime.
0 for 5 up until that final shot of his in the fourth quarter?
From 3,
Yeah, from 3.
And that was kept. That's the guy that we saw earlier in the season. That's the guy that you've seen throughout his career. He took care of business and he took it right at the Nuggets. And big praise to KD in the 44 minutes tonight. He did what they needed. They got the win when nobody thought they could. This is the guttiest win, and when we look back at it, could wind up being the most pivotal win to change the direction of things and potentially keep them out of a play-in. Whatever the case may be, a game that nobody, including the odds makers, gave them a chance in. They were 8.5-point underdogs going into this. They figured out a way to pull it out, and KD was such a big part of that.
And here's the stat that stands out to me, because I know people like that fourth quarter was rough. They got outscored 21-12 in that period, and it felt like another fourth quarter collapse. But KD shot 7 for 13 in the first half, really good. 4 for 18 in the second half. He was going through it, turns it around, goes 3 for 3 in OT. And he hit, to your point, he started 0 for 5 from 3 on the night. He finished 3 of 8. So he made his last 3 threes, and they were all big ones to either force overtime or keep the Suns out in front. Bradley Beal really struggled with his shot. He just could not get anything to fall. He was 4 for 16 in regulation, went 2 for 2 in OT. So like, this is why you have these guys for moments exactly like this. Having big time shot makers helps in these types of situations. And this is why I can't completely write this team off yet, because I know the highs and lows this season. We talked about the solar coaster in pregame.
Do we got that graphic?
We talked about the solar coaster in pregame, and it's been a lot of highs and lows, and it has been hard to keep up with them all. But like, at the end of the day, they have 3 of the best players, and in a playoff series that can matter. If they can just get those guys out on the court at the same time, they can compete with anybody. And I just can't write them off yet for that reason. I know that they have the flaws. They have the turnover thing that's worrisome, defensive concerns, all this stuff, but they can still go toe-to-toe with anybody 4 out of 7 times if they can just have everybody available.
Well, and I mean, defense, at least in that first half, when they go on the 29-7 run.
That second quarter was something else.
Yeah. I mean, you could sit here and say, oh, Denver had a bad shooting night during that period. Defense plays a part in it. Nurk played a part in slowing down Nikola Jokic in that. I mean, Jokic wound up, I believe, with 7 turnovers in this game. But you got to give the defense credit for showing up, too. They held the Nuggets to 107 points. In a league where that's like the new 100, holding the team to 100, right? Like, so kudos across the board after a period that we looked at this team and said, why is everything falling by the wayside again?
Right.
They came out and they took care of business against a Nuggets team that was 9-3 in their last 12. They were 6-0 in their last 6, and they're one of the second best team at home. And they did it shorthanded and made it look impressive at times.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I'm just really glad that we got this win for so many reasons. I think we all kind of really needed this to snap us out of the dark place that we were all in for a little bit there.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers here by checking out what's inside the box, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that stood out to me, guess what? You only turned the ball over 9 times. Single-digit turnovers are very good.
Whoop, whoop.
The Nuggets committed 14, and because you only turned the ball over 9 times, guess what? You took the same amount of shots as your opponent, which is really good because this is a very high-powered Denver Nuggets offense. So leveling that playing field is huge. They actually shot better than the Nuggets from 3. They both made 15 threes, but the Suns did it on 5 fewer attempts. They were 15 for 34. And the assists, the Suns spread the ball. And this is a byproduct of like the 3-point attempts being over 30. That's a byproduct of the way that they move the ball. It's usually a pretty good indicator that the ball is moving, that they're driving and kicking. The Suns had 32 assists. The Nuggets only had 25. So yes, Denver did miss some shots, but this is the blueprint for the Suns. Defend your asses off, move the ball on the offensive side of the floor, have the same number of field goal attempts as your opponent, and keep your turnovers down. And you can beat anybody in this league.
it's impressive. They had 34 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
20 of those came from just Grayson and KD tonight.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen was 8 of 12 tonight. KD was 3 of 8.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was overall a gutty performance, and again, it's the solar coaster. You don't know what you're going to get in nights like tonight. You go,
That's it.
That 29-7 run, that's it.
Yeah.
Like with or without Book, with or without, like that was it. This is the team we think, and then that's why you have hope. That's why you hold out hope, because that is the defending champs. It's a team that was a half game out of the number 1 seed in the West. Basically, what I'm saying is get stuffed, Denver. All right,
And also, like, Suns, play your game. Like,
Yes.
that's what you're capable
Be
of,
you.
even when you're down one of your stars,
Mhm.
right? So it shouldn't matter who's available or who's not if you've got 2 of your big 3 out there,
Mhm.
because we can see what you're capable of. They only turned the ball over 1 time in that quarter.
Mhm.
They forced the Nuggets to turn the ball over 4 times in that quarter. They were getting out running. They were moving the ball, playing
Mhm.
with pace, running their sets.
Mhm.
Like, that's
That's
do
it.
that more.
Do it.
Do
Yeah.
that more,
Well,
please. Thank you.
They helped set up KD, and he took care of business. Like for everything that they didn't do the other night, they
Did it tonight.
found a way to do it tonight. Now,
In
was
moments,
it
at
pretty?
least.
Was it pretty the whole time? No. The fourth quarter obviously was not pretty.
Mhm.
But over time, that second quarter, moments in the third, like there was a lot to like in there. And
Mhm.
in an NBA game, you're gonna have some ebbs and flows, but tonight those flows were pretty damn pretty.
Yeah, they were. And like you said, it was not a pretty game overall. Like we said, through the first 4 quarters, you looked at the overall shooting numbers for KD and Beal, and they weren't pretty.
No.
Eric Gordon was 1 for 7 off the bench. Bol had some rough minutes. It was kind of all over the place in that regard. But again, to pull out a win like this and to have that many assists, that many 3-point attempts without Devin Booker out there, that is a very positive sign for me.
Yeah. All right. A couple super chats here from the top of the show. Go to Tech Reviews sent us one, and they said, that game took years off my life. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments. Who was it that hit that 3 now? I can't even remember. KCP?
Yes, KCP.
Oh, yeah,
did
when
that
he
three.
put him up.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
that was such a gut punch because I was like, we were right there.
Yep.
Right there.
Mhm.
And
it
it gave them the lead. Thankfully, the Suns took care of business, forced the overtime,
Mhm.
but that was such a gut punch.
It
I
felt
hated
like
that
it was.
moment.
It felt like it was probably over at that point. They were only down 2, I think, at that
It
point.
Yeah.
But
one, wasn't it?
No, it was 2
Or
because it
I
was
think
a
it was
3
okay,
that
It
got
was
hit.
the three.
It
I
was
think it was
97 to 100, I think.
yeah, but it felt like, oh man, the
Oh, yeah,
Nuggets
maybe
clawed their
2.
way back in. This was always kind of building to this point,
Mhm.
and that's why this win was so resilient to me, to come out in OT after they work their way back into this game and throw the first couple of punches and just keep it that way. That was huge.
So
Yeah.
it was a 10-0 run. They took the lead at 199 on the
Oh, okay.
KCP 3. It was the first time the Nuggets had led since they led 43-41 in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it felt like that in the moment, because we had
Mhm.
not seen them fight all the way back until that point.
Yes.
But credit to the Suns, because that would have been an easy point to go, here we go again, and fold.
Yep.
And go, look, this was a great night in terms of we fought our hearts out and we fell a little short to the defending champs. But instead, they locked in, they took care of business. They got very close on the final shot to almost losing there, but they didn't. And they came out swinging in OT, and they got it done.
That 6 minutes there, or 6 minutes and some change,
Mm.
was literally just like peaks and valleys,
Yes.
peaks and
Oh,
valleys,
yeah.
There was.
until like the final minute of overtime. And you're
Yeah.
like, thank God.
Mhm.
Thank God.
Yeah.
This was so good. Okay. Be More Funny sent us a super chat, and they said, new strategy, take every game to overtime.
Oh God, they are undefeated in
No.
OT.
Please,
I
no.
I don't
that
know if
might
we.
take some years off of our lives as
Yeah.
well, but listen, if it helps them win, I guess.
My heart
sure.
can't. My heart can't take that. No.
I also don't know
No.
if a lot of these players can handle that either. I'm surprised they didn't look more gassed
Yeah.
in overtime.
I mean, they looked pretty gassed in that fourth, but they were able to find a second win somehow
Right.
in the OT. And yeah, the OT minutes, I'm okay with not having every game OT, just so Kevin Durant doesn't play 44
Yeah.
and Allen doesn't play 41.
yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Exactly.
Not happening.
Listen, if you want to have just as much fun as you had watching tonight's game with us, we are hosting our tea party on March 23rd at Dobson Ranch Golf Course. We're going to be watching the Suns game. We're going to be playing a little golf. We're going to have drinks, merch, contest, prizes, food, all out at Dobson Ranch Golf Course. It's going to be an absolute blast. Again, it's Saturday, March 23rd. You can come out as a solo. You can bring the whole squad. Whatever it is that you are looking to get into on a Saturday night, do it with us at the tea party. You can get your tickets right now over at gophnx.com.
You forgot the best part. We're going to do pre and post game out there. So
That's true.
If you want to yell at us or come praise us, come on out.
You can do it in real life.
Be nice to Gerald and Lindsay. You can be mean to me.
There you go. Also, if you're looking for some cash to maybe help you get those tickets, our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union are looking to hook you up right now. For more than 84 years, they have been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And right now, when you open a free checking account online, you're going to get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
Gerald, what do I sometimes refer to Nuggets fans as?
Oh, God, I'm worried about this one.
No, dicks. That's right.
That's
just sometimes
I
I
would
do.
have never got that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I know where this ad read is going.
Do you?
Yeah.
Our favorite friends are back. Our friends from Manscaped are back to say top of the morning to you.
Oh, God.
As this episode is brought to you by the St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Shavers, Manscaped. That's right. This year, don't chase rainbows. Make your own pot o' gold and groom your little leprechaun with the leaders in below the kilt care. Say goodbye to your clover forest with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0. That's right. And let your confidence shine bright. Embrace the luck of the Irish and join 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use that promo code PHNX20 for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped. Just because you're a dick doesn't mean you have to be a hairy one.
Oh, my God.
10 million men, huh?
Oh, no.
Man.
It's 20 million
Manscaped's
something
back,
else.
That's
everybody.
impressive. Oh, come
Hope you
on,
enjoyed
man.
it. All right, let's start handing out some flowers.
Not
That's
at
it.
all where I was going with that, at all. Please save us.
Let's start handing out some flowers here. I know we gave a lot to KD already off the top of the show, but we're going to go ahead and name him our big, bright, shiny star for this one. Like you had mentioned, Gerald, really good shooting in the first half. Great in the final 6 minutes and some change for him. I mean, he was instrumental in this win tonight. He finished with 35 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and those 3 threes that mattered the absolute most.
Yeah, he powered through a rough second half. Like the first half, he was fantastic. And I think the Suns did a really good job. Like Denver didn't send nearly as many double teams at him as we saw from the Thunder, who are a really good trapping team. They like to trap from the first pass away from KD. They did a really nice job with that. They forced the Suns into a lot of turnovers. The Nuggets are not that type of team. They don't have the personnel to pull off what the more athletic, younger Thunder can do. But I thought the Suns also did a really nice job of attacking switches on the perimeter instead of always resorting to KD in the post. Because I feel like when you play on 1/3 or the other third of the court, it's a little bit tougher in terms of the angles and finding guys. They kept it to the middle third when they were attacking a lot of those perimeter mismatches. And I think the results started to speak for themselves. Obviously, in the fourth quarter, like they couldn't buy a bucket, but I didn't hate their process. There were a couple of shots I would have preferred to see somebody put their head down and get to the rack, but they missed a lot of open ones. Like I think Grayson missed like 2 open ones that we thought were money because he was 8 for 8 to start the game.
Royce missed an open
one. It felt like they were getting decent looks, but they just couldn't get them to fall. They powered through it, and Durant was the leader in that. And he also played great defense on the other end too. Like we always focus on how he's handling doubles or how he's shooting, but defensively he continues to set a tone in that regard. So really impressive two-way performance from him. He also had the 2 blocks and the 5 assists.
Yeah, look, there were moments where all except that fourth quarter where everybody shut down. That was vintage KD in most cases tonight. So got to give him credit. You may give him a hard time sometimes, but he's still that guy when you needed him there tonight in a big game. And look, this stretch is going to be as close to as you can get to a playoff games until you play in there. And tonight was that first real litmus test. You can count OKC, and they did fight back in that game, but tonight they showed up on the road and did it. They're going to face the Celtics a couple times. You're going to see the Nuggets again. You've got basically the whole back half of the West that you're facing in the Kings and everything. And Minnesota, you're going to get a lot of these kind of big pressure games. And I like the way they responded tonight. This is exactly what you want. And KD led that charge. I can't say enough about how encouraging tonight was.
Absolutely. And especially coming off a loss where, I tweeted out a video because I was curious about what KD was seeing from the double teams, and I had sent it in here for the post-game show. And for a lot of people, it didn't ring true in terms of what he had said, but I honestly think he was just trying to walk me through what his thought process was when he's hit with those doubles. And it was nice to see on a night where he wasn't getting constantly double teamed what he was able to do in big time game situations, because those shots that he hit were huge. And that's what you got Kevin Durant for those exact shots, even on a rough shooting night. So that was encouraging to me.
Yeah. And then we also have some more flowers we have to give out too. We're going to go ahead and give out 2 X factors for tonight's game. We'll go in reverse order, starting with the end of the game. Bradley Beal is one of our PHNX factors. I always forget when Jacob's producing, we get that for X factor.
We get
and I
the good
absolutely
drop.
love it. So Bradley Beal finished with 16 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. But the biggest thing was that, after the third quarter, Bradley Beal only had 6 points, but we absolutely needed those 10 points from him combined in the fourth quarter and overtime. They were critical as well.
Yeah, it was tough because the process was there for him, especially in regards to driving and getting in the paint. The Suns desperately need him to do that. And near the start of that fourth quarter, you knew that with KD playing the whole third, he was going to rest. You needed big Bradley Beal minutes. It was kind of up and down there for a stretch. But again, he hit big shots when they needed him to. In OT, he was 2 for 2. He hit a couple of big ones. He had that fun scoop layup. They were going at Michael Porter Jr. quite a lot down the stretch. They turned him back into Michael Pigeon Jr., which was fun to see. And that's what you got him for. I know a lot of people are frustrated with Bradley Beal because of the availability, because he's had some rough shooting nights. But he was great the other night, and down the stretch when you needed him, he showed up. So kudos to him for powering through a rough shooting performance as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat the first 3.5 quarters.
No.
He played bad. It was a bad
It was a welcome to the party kind of moment.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Bradley Beal is in this game. When it almost felt like that was exactly the sentiment when he started hitting late in the fourth. And I can't give him a pass because for the first 3.5 quarters, because he was terrible offensively.
I disagree. I don't think he was terrible. I think he just couldn't get a shot to fall. And I think that happens. I don't think the process was bad. I don't think he was taking bad shots. Yeah, he shot
terrible shooting night up until in those 3.5 quarters. You're right. It wasn't bad shot selection. Yeah. It wasn't bad mentally in what he was doing. He just couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah,
and that was the case. And if they had lost this and we didn't get that, that's the guy we're pointing at, because he didn't carry the weight tonight. But he did come through when they needed him in OT. Him and KD, it felt like clicked there in that OT, where we haven't always seen those minutes fully click between those two offensively. So a lot of credit to both of them on that.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't give a little love to Grayson Allen. He is also a PHNX factor. Because Grayson Allen, at least in the first 3 quarters, was on fire from deep. So he was 8 of 12 tonight from the 3-point line. He had, let me see, I wrote it down here somewhere. He had 4 threes in the first quarter. He had 6 threes in the second quarter, then 8 threes in the third quarter, and that's where he tapped out. Those final 4 shots total. We're adding these on top of each other.
Oh, okay.
So he 4.
Gotcha. I was
then
like,
total of 6.
how many
after
threes did he hit?
I was like, holy crap.
Total.
He hit 24 tonight?
Total.
Gotcha.
Not each quarter.
That would be even more
really impressive.
And he almost died in the fourth quarter when he attempted
This
the dunk
is true.
that got blocked.
But kudos for him for at least trying. So if you want to
he
do it
got up.
without adding them all up, it would be what? 4, 2, and 2?
Yes. He
Yes.
was,
4 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third for a total of 8.
Okay.
But then he went absolutely cold.
Mm-hmm.
And he missed his final 4. But listen,
He did.
we can't be so greedy.
No,
8 threes is a hell of a lot of threes.
it is.
It's more than Devin's done in the regular season.
Damn.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw shade at both there.
I'm a casual,
little
so
sore from it.
I can. But you guys, you're professionals, so.
Yeah. No, he was fantastic, and he kind of helped set the tone from the start.
Yes.
Like, look, we're not going to just roll over just because everyone expects us to lose this game and everyone's down on us right now. And it was good to see because he had gone through a 2 or 3 game stretch, couple of weeks, honestly, where the shots weren't falling at the same rate. And I thought maybe it was time for some regression to the mean because it is rare in NBA history to take 5 attempts per game and shoot like 48% from 3, lead the league in 3-point percentage. I thought he was due for a couple of weeks where just couldn't get shots to fall. And he was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and start 8 for 8 from 3 and go ahead and keep this offense lifted. And they need him to shoot a lot of threes. They need this whole offense to shoot threes. So when Grayson Allen is getting looks and there's such high quality, that's usually a positive indicator of how well the ball's moving.
Well, and you need him to hit those because then it does open up more for Katie, for Beal, for Booker when he's back, because you can't double team. You can't cheat off a guy like that. And it becomes more difficult to try to throw those junk defenses at Katie in particular. So a hell of a start for Grayson. Without him, they're not even in the position to have a bad fourth quarter to then win it in overtime. The game probably plays out a little bit more like everybody expected before the game. So great performance by him. And I know we don't have these two. Can I
wait? Hold on, but defensively too, I just want to give a little bit of love to Grayson Allen as well. He had 3 steals in this one as well, and there were a couple plays late in the game too that were big for him on that end of the floor. So we definitely got to shout out his defense in this one too because threes are important. Yeah, but those steals help too.
No, he did a great job following Jamal Murray around, and we know Murray is a tough cover. We've seen it the last couple of times that they've met. Especially in the playoffs last year. He forced him into that one travel underneath the basket. There should have been another one in the lane where he had that nice little scoop layup that I felt like Murray picked up his pivot foot there. But Grayson was really good, and he also had 5 rebounds and 4 assists. So he did a little bit of everything beyond just the threes tonight.
Yeah. If you want me to go full Esperado, get us to 250 likes here, and I'll get to that level for you all tonight.
Yes.
I know you want that, but it's a bad habit. I'll get there. Don't worry. Can I give some other flowers?
Yeah, listen, we would have literally made a graphic for like 90% of the guys on the team tonight, but Jacob just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So we're going to stop at 3 graphics, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop handing out flowers. We got a whole ass bouquet to give out, okay? Don't you guys worry. Who do you want to start with?
Well, I want to start with Nurk first off. We briefly touched on him, but I know he fouled out. His defense, his aggressiveness early on set the tone. I think he frustrated Nurkic. Like, you don't stop Nikola. You don't stop. I always do that with these two. You don't stop Nikola Jokic, right? But Nurkic did enough where I think it got him out of his game in that first half, which opened that window for you, right? And so kudos to him. It's a far cry from 31 rebounds or whatever, but he did what they needed him to tonight. And that kind of physical presence is going to be important against the Nuggets of the world and teams like that you might face. So this is in part why you got him, and he did what he needed to tonight.
I know, to put it kindly, that Nuggets fans were skeptical of the Suns trading for Nurk because they had seen Nurk at an earlier stage in his career.
That was a different version of him. He's grown and matured. Ask your coach.
He's grown and matured. Mike Malone did say that before the game. But the biggest thing for me is that he gets up for this matchup. No one on this panel is ever going to suggest that Nurk is a Jokic stopper or any stupid shit like that. But he does play him with physicality. He does make him work. And just to have somebody that's not going to get bullied and put underneath the basket, stuffed in a locker by that guy, is a huge win, because Jokic has that just sheer mass and strength to stuff you in the basket, basically, if you're not careful. So that's huge.
Nurk had 7 turnovers tonight, and you can attribute some of that to,
Jokic.
Jokic had.
We're just going to do
You
it.
started it.
We're just going to do it. One of those itch guys did something tonight, and
Let me try that again. Also, I had a little tick on my throat, so that was throwing me off.
Don't die.
Jokic had 7 turnovers tonight, and you can attribute some of that to Nurk.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I was going with.
It's a good thing we don't have Dragic on this team, too.
Dude,
Oh, man.
it would be
Or
a struggle
Doncic.
bus. My
we would not know
goodness
what to
gracious.
do.
Well, I would still.
We would be a mess. No, but also one of the things when it comes to Nurk, too, is one of those fouls on him shouldn't have gone to him, which sucks. And that was also one of those, talk about ebbs and flows of tonight's game. That was one of those moments where you're like, that's not fair. Nurk should still be in this game.
That fourth foul on Nurk that should have been on Grayson. He bumped him from behind, and they called the foul on Nurk, even though Nurk just had his hand up, didn't even touch him on the shot. That was the one that kind of opened the floodgates for the Nuggets to come back in this game, because Nurkic picked up his 5th a few minutes later, had to sit. And as much as I will say Drew Eubanks did well in terms of the offensive boards, all the tap outs that he had, like there's a downgrade going from Nurkic to Eubanks, especially in that Jokic matchup. But like that one really, I was kind of surprised that Frank Vogel didn't challenge that one. I felt like that you could kind of sense that this was a big foul to pick up. It's his 4th at that point in the 3rd or whatever it was. I wanted him to challenge that call. He didn't. Nurk picks up his 5th a few minutes later, and suddenly now you go to overtime. But Nurk was great when he was on the court.
Yeah, I feel like it evened out, though, because they're in the 4th. KD kind of slips. They call the foul, and
that was a rough call. Yeah.
So sometimes those things even out, but I agree. I kind of wish Frank had challenged it, because it was a foul. It was just on Grayson. And that could have been a moment where if they lose this, you go back and you go, well, you needed right. Nurk, but they didn't. So okay, fine. They didn't challenge it, but Nurk deserves the flowers. I got one other person though, if we're all right with that.
Yeah, flowers.
And he was in a Suns uniform, but he was not a player tonight. There was a young man sitting courtside that was in a Suns jersey next to what I assume is an older brother or somebody in a Booker Moss Point jersey. But the young man in the purple Sunburst jersey, if anybody knows who this kid is, I would like to personally send him some gear, because this kid got me amped. He felt like the only Suns fan in that building and was not afraid to stand up to 18,000 Nuggets fans and say, no, I'm here. I'm courtside and I'm enjoying the hell out of this. And I'm pretty sure at the end he even turned around and waved goodbye to them all. But that's not the best part. We're not the only people that noticed him.
Okay.
Bradley Beal, after the game, noticed him and took off his shoes and gave them to the kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
So shout out to you. I tip my hat to you. In enemy territory, you did what we all wanted to and told them to get stuffed. So thank you for your service tonight.
I love that. I didn't know that he got Brad's shoes. That's super cute.
Seriously, if you know who it is, I'd like to hook him up.
That kid probably should have been our big, bright, shiny star. Let's be honest. I mean, that was adorable. And the whole entire night, anytime the Suns did something, he was bouncing up and down, having a blast. That's a core memory for him right there. 100%.
That kid, hopefully that is the cleansing of Suns fans in Denver, and it's wholesome, it's fun, it's good times, and hopefully maybe that's the change of some omens there and against those teams.
It's like the reverse of the baby jinx. Because now they're toddlers, so we're good.
There we go.
It's like
each stage of life.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
It's the circle of life.
I mean, listen, he probably gave the Suns a little bit of luck tonight. Unfortunately, he did not give any of us here at PHNX any luck tonight when it came to our bets, though, because we all took L's again.
Damn.
Grayson Allen, sir. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy and thrilled that you had a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
But did you have to hit the first bucket of the game?
I told you in pregame that was what was going to happen.
But you didn't take it either.
No, I said that's why it was going to happen because we both.
So we all took L's.
So Lindsay, what do you and the Suns turnovers have in common tonight? They're down to single digits.
Hey!
Damn. So
I only got $7.23 to my name, which means one more L and I'm in the negatives.
damn.
Oy.
Thursday, here we come.
I hate this. Listen, if y'all got any tips or tricks, please send them my way.
Yeah, bet better.
You got any good bets? Send them my way because I'm not above cheating at this point in time.
Hold on, I got yelled at when I suggested I was going to let the man Shane Diefenbach make my bets.
I'm admitting that I need help cheating at this point in time. You had $3 some odd $100. Espo, shush. I don't want to hear it from you.
At one point,
I just don't want to be in the negative with Flex, okay? That's all.
You're going to be there.
You guys
Thursday.
can sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app by using the bonus code PHNX. When you sign up using that code PHNX, all you got to do is place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $5, and you're going to receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. So even if you take an L like we did, you're still going to get hooked up by our friends over at BetMGM. So check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get stuffed, Ontario and Denver and Puerto Rico. We're sorry Flex represents you.
Damn.
Gerald, you're a Star Wars nerd, right?
I am a Star Wars fan, yes.
I assume since you're a connoisseur of the internet, you've seen the Chilean memes that have been going around with Star Wars.
I have.
You know what would make that meme better?
What's that?
If it was a Four Peaks that all the characters from Star Wars reached for.
It would.
I think that would have made it an epic, really. It actually would have fit the movie better.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me that any of the characters in Star Wars are drinking an inferior beer.
No.
They've got the Force and the dark side. They're not going to pick crappy beer. I mean, they can get anything they want.
Absolutely.
They'd pick Four Peaks. And let me tell you.
No, that's for the Star Trek fans, right? I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about him. Am I throwing a lot of shade right now?
I believe live long and get fucked is what Gerald's thinking.
I'm so sorry.
We're not speaking for a while.
I'm sorry. I was just trying. I failed. My bad.
You know what? If you're a fan of great beer, regardless of what Star franchise you're in favor of, go check out our friends over at Four Peaks. They have the new Bad Birdie Juicy Ale, a collab between Four Peaks and Bad Birdie. Super drinkable and the perfect companion at the tea box or in the fridge. So you can drink one while we're out at our tea party on the 23rd. Be sure to follow them on social at Four Peaks Brew and Four Peaks Pub to get all the latest on Arizona's premier craft beer. Must be 21 and over to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a peek at some of these super chats we got here. Chine sent us one, and they said, too many emotions this game. Honestly, did not have high hopes. Glad I was wrong. Thank God we went into overtime because fourth quarters are a curse for us. Props to Phoenix, but especially to Allen, Durant, Beal, and effing Eubanks. Clapping face fire emoji. That's with no Booker. Laughing face emoji.
Gutty win. And we've been really hard on Drew Eubanks, and rightfully so. He's been rough for a majority of the season, but a lot of those back taps that he had were big in keeping possessions alive and giving him second looks. So.
Yeah, that was a really big D in Drew tonight. He was came up huge. The dunk, some of the tip rebounds, everything that he did, he was fantastic. Especially when everybody cringed. Nurk fouls out. Everybody's like, well, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Eubanks minutes, right? And instead, he was a positive during that time and got that dunk to start overtime that really, I think, kind of loosened the tension a little bit and let them play free in that overtime. So
yeah, absolutely.
Ryan sent us one and they said, somebody on Twitter said we don't have closers. Eyeball emoji, questioning face emoji.
Did I
It's
say that?
Wild. No, I don't. Wait, I mean, look, I'm
Not
not,
tonight.
I'm not going to pretend like our fourth quarter numbers are great, but yes, we have 3 excellent shot makers. If they can just not go cold at the same time, that would cut down on the need for overtime.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say we have 4 of them.
I think we have closers,
You
and
throw Grayson in there?
Yeah, I think so.
we had a 5th one
3.5?
tonight.
Yeah.
3.5.
The clock operator. Thank God that buzzer went off because Aaron
Oh.
Gordon dunked that thing right
Shoot.
after that light turned on. So,
I know.
look, they've got guys that know how to do it, and at times this year they haven't been great at it. But tonight they showed, Kevin Durant in particular, but Bradley Beal as well, that they can take over in that clutch. So.
Leo sent us one. Thank you, Leo. They said, give the big, bright, shiny star to the little Suns fan from the front row.
Amen.
I mean, honestly, we should have, but
we didn't have a good picture of the
we
kid,
didn't. That was the
yeah.
problem. We couldn't find like a really good picture of him.
The dude got Bradley Beal's shoes, and I'll give him a free couple of shirts and stuff too. He got enough.
He's
tonight,
good.
right?
Yeah. He was fun, though. We were rooting for him. Rusty sent us one. Thank you, Rusty. They said, Suns undefeated, ... in overtime. Just make sure both teams match the score after regulation.
Can we just make every game 5 minutes? Like, let's just say
5 minute
it's just a
stretches.
5-minute game.
Or
Yeah.
at least a 5-minute fourth quarter, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put a little pep in their step on that one? I don't know.
Just tell them it's overtime when fourth quarter starts, all right?
Or at least when it hits the 5-minute mark left, right?
Yeah. Take
Guys,
a time
this is overtime.
at every 5-minute mark. Take a timeout and say overtime starts. Let's go, boys.
There you go. I mean, listen, we might be onto something. You do whatever you got to do to make it work. Nathan sent us one. I believe it was their first super chat, but they didn't include any words. But thank you, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan.
Caesar sent us one, and they said, they do for a loss, we do for a win. Frank Vogel.
There you go. They were due.
Is that the real
Either way
Frank
you look at
Vogel
it.
or Frank
No, I don't.
Vogel?
I think that might be
The-
at
Frank
Frank
Vogel
Vogel
PHX
PHX. Yeah,
on Twitter. Great
that
count.
might be it.
Nicholas sent us one. Nicholas hooked us up with $50 in this
Nice.
super chat.
Thank
Thank you so much. They said, these fourth quarters are making my eyes bleed with crying face emojis. I wish we played with way more consistency. We
Mhm.
don't really have an offensive identity. Sometimes they pass too much and other times there's no ball movement. That's an issue. Great win though.
This is case in point of why I'm like so high on them getting more reps and needing more reps, because that's how you work through those very different ends of the spectrum. Like you have, like he said, the nights where it feels like they're just going ISO ball. They get the ball to KD, everyone stands around and watches. And then they have other nights where it feels like you're overpassing, just shoot the damn ball. You're turning it over for that reason. That's why I really hope Booker's able to come back soon and they can just stay healthy from here until through the playoffs, because if they get a chance to really piece some things together, they can be dangerous, because we see it in these stretches like that third quarter or like that second quarter where, damn, that looks fantastic. And then we have these other stretches like the fourth where it's like, man, they cannot buy a shot. What is happening?
I didn't feel like the fourth tonight was as much that it defaulted to ISO ball or
It didn't.
that the ball stuck. They
It
just
felt like
missed
for
shots
6 minutes,
tonight,
nobody
right?
could hit a bucket.
Right.
Yeah. Like, so I felt a little bit more encouraged by that, because it wasn't like, oh, they just are pounding the ball into the ground and chucking a shot
Mhm.
last second. But yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, there's no doubt.
And on the plus side, the Nuggets were also clanking some balls out
Yeah, it
there,
was
too.
cheeks
You know what I
clinic
mean?
to the
It
floor.
was.
Like it felt like there were at least a solid minute there
Yes.
where we were just
Yeah.
exchanging bricks.
Right.
We were trying to build houses.
We
Yes.
were. Maybe build a new airport that's closer to the fucking
I
city
mean,
in Denver.
you guys should definitely do that.
That would make
Consider
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Just saying.
All right, Arizona 88 sent us one and they said starters: Book, KD, Allen, Nurk, and Beal.
Book, Katie, Allen, Nurk, Beal. I mean, yeah, that's the preferred starting lineup. I would like to see some Royce thrown in there in Grayson's place before the end of the season, just to see what that group looks like. But again, that lineup there is one of the most successful 5-man lineups in the NBA. And I know that it's undersized in some matchups, but it's still really good when they're out there together.
If they had reached the 300-minute threshold that a lot of people
Mhm.
look at net rating at, they'd have the third highest net rating of any 5-man lineup in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the Celtics, maybe Milwaukee, and then it would be the Suns would slot in there. So when they're healthy and that's the 5-man lineup on the floor, they're dangerous, right? But we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So then you get these flashes of brilliance and nothing that's solidified yet.
So real quick before we do some more super chats, we do have some really exciting news.
What's that?
2 OGs who we haven't seen in the chat in a minute,
Oh, yeah?
Bees and Jay, are both back in the chat.
Let's go.
And we heard from Hello that they just got done filming Love is Blind. So we have that to look forward to.
I call crap.
Season.
I call an angel is not in Love
You
is
can't
Blind.
trust Hello.
Hello is
Hello, it cannot be trusted.
I kind of want to, though, now.
But I would love nothing more.
Oh, wait. Our friend Bootleg Kev's in here,
Then
too.
if one of you guys
Yeah.
were on Love is Blind
It's a
or
hell
one
of
of
a
those
night.
shows, that would be a blast.
What a day.
Hell of a night. And, hold on. Somebody else has returned from the dead.
Who?
Shane Diefenbach is in the chat.
Shane
The man is back. All right.
Damn.
Hey-o.
The rumor is he's producing your show tomorrow.
Oh,
That's
Ooh,
crazy.
Shane's producing our show
I'll believe it when I
tomorrow.
see it.
How exciting. But welcome back, guys. Good to see you. It's been a minute. We missed you. All right, back to the super chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt our
no.
Update
regularly
from
scheduled
Hello.
programming.
Hello didn't say they were in it, which
Jay
means
is in it.
Hello may have actually filmed the.
They just said Jay is in it.
He said B's and J.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought you
Bees
said
and
Bees
Jay.
and
Oh.
Jay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I thought
Yeah.
you were saying hello was.
Yeah,
no,
I
Hello
thought
is the one
that's what
who
we-
told us
Oh,
that Bees
okay.
and Jay got back from filming Love is Blind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are they?
I don't know.
Do I
We
need
gotta
to
wait
watch the
until it comes
season? They're
out.
together. All right.
They have
All
NDAs.
right.
They can't tell us.
You know what? Based on the fourth quarter, sometimes I wish our son's love was blind too.
This one was a good one, Espo. This one was a good one. Not the fourth quarter, but the game. All right. I Sandman sent us one and they said, all caps, that's our identity. Do it again.
Yep. Defend, hold them under 110, get up 30 plus threes, move the ball, keep the turnovers low.
Yes. Michael sent us one and they said, great game from Ball Arena Live. Go Suns.
Nice. Thank you.
That
Glad
was a
you
solid
enjoyed it.
game to be at. Absolutely.
Were you courtside wearing a Devin Booker jersey? No. All right.
Did you notice the kid next to him was wearing a Moss Point jersey?
Yes, I
Mhm.
Yeah.
mentioned that. Thank you.
This guy.
Well, welcome to the program, Jacob. Glad to have you.
He was busy doing stuff. That's all.
He's pushing buttons. Come on,
Yeah,
he's
he
got
was
the
busy.
headset on. He can hear.
He was busy. He tuned you out a long time ago. I
It's
suppose.
fine.
Caleb sent us one. Thank you, Caleb. They said, besides missing one rebound that he had his back turned for because he contested it, what did Bobo do so wrong to lose minutes beside missing a few threes?
I don't like this matchup for him. There were quite a few possessions during those runs that the Nuggets were on where he was out on the court and they were giving up rebounds. It just felt, it wasn't Bulbul's night, and it's kind of felt that way the last couple of nights as well. I don't think it was just a tonight thing. And they need him to make shots and be aggressive with the ball, attacking closeouts, hitting threes when he has them. He was just kind of a non-factor tonight. So that would be my guess.
I actually think it was something else.
What's that?
It was that hanging on the rim. It's just egregious. We
That
cannot
was-
have that in basketball.
That was a
Horrible.
cheeks call.
That was
terrible.
so crap.
Straight cheeks.
So bad.
Horrible.
Tisk, tisk. All right, next super
She's
chat.
ignoring me.
Somebody in the chat actually said, I don't know what they wanted
said
your
Gerald needed
punishment
to be fired or
but
something
you-
like
they
that,
said
yeah.
you needed to be punished for that
No.
horrible joke.
Oh.
You guys don't
You
even
made.
understand. I have a draft in my emails that is just filled with like 60 plus bowl puns, and
There
I just
was-
pick and choose from them.
There was only one
That doesn't
time
surprise me.
where
No.
I was like in support of it, and I don't
Mhm.
remember what it was. I think it was another bad foul call on Bull.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, Gerald, hurry, quick, tweet it. Bullshit.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. She likes it
That
when
was
it's
the
her
only
idea.
one that I supported him on.
Yeah.
All right, back to super chats here. We got one from Will H. Thank you, Will. They said, Big Three giveth, but Big Three also taketh away. So clutch in OT, but Bradley Beal and KD went ISO ball again. OT gets all the glory, but second quarter is what we need.
See, in an overtime situation in that, like, I think sometimes ISO ball is the right call.
Yeah.
When you can get the matchup like they did on, Michael Porter Jr.
Yes.
I mean, you're setting yourself up for success there. I did not mind the way OT went with that. So
Yeah, and I will say, like, there were stretches in the fourth, like we mentioned earlier, where it felt like, okay, we could have generated a little more ball movement, maybe drove the paint and kicked, something like that. But at the same time, they were trying to target mismatches, and I think that's something that gets lost in this conversation about, oh, they're not running offense, they don't run offense late in games. They're just trying to get an advantageous matchup for one of their big three to go to work. And so sometimes it does look stagnant in that way. But yeah, in playoff games, you need guys who can be able to do that, and they have three of them. So.
All right, next up, we've got one from D Nice. Thank you, D Nice. They said, the key to me was the Suns The key to me was that the Suns ran several offensive set plays that made their offense flow more. Formula to win, because it will limit turnovers too.
They were really good at attacking the second side and swinging the ball around. That was huge for them. Yeah.
Jacob sent us one, and they said, love to Eubanks as well. Came up huge after Nurk got tossed. LOL at the Phantom fourth.
Yeah. He was good tonight. He had some rough stretches, but he really came through that second half when Nurk was out.
Yeah.
Which he needed. I mean, I know it's been rough kind of. You could go down the list and point out some rough spots for quite a few of the guys on the Sun squad. But I know Eubanks was struggling, and a lot of people were upset with him as well. So it's great for him to have a good outing.
Did you read the police report?
Yes. Well, no, I read the tweets about the police report.
Okay, fine. I did that too. But basically,
I'm not being honest
she
here.
saw the TikTok explaining the police report.
No, it's tweets.
She saw the TikTok explaining the tweets that read the police report.
Just the tweets.
Man, talk about Eubanks has had it tough since he got punched in the mouth randomly in the tunnel, and it was just as bad as we all thought. So it was good to see him get some shine out there tonight.
I know. What did he say? He had like busted lips and like loose teeth,
bleeding gums.
You could when we
multiple teeth.
When we talked to him that night in the locker room before the game, he had blood on his teeth and his lip was a little bloody. So yeah.
All I'm saying is, if my teeth were loose after you sucker punched me, I don't think you're soft for pressing charges for something like that. Because now I got to go to the dentist.
I guess.
And that's your fault.
I think they have good dental care.
And it's in the East Valley.
Who cares? But you still got to go to the dentist.
I'm just going to say good restraint.
Coverage or not.
Good restraint from him, because I don't think I would have been that cool. I probably would have gotten a few shots in myself if somebody sucker punched me like that.
That's just crazy before a game, man.
What do people sue for?
Everything.
Like
assault.
No, emotional damage or whatever.
Emotional distress.
Yes.
Good Lord.
I mean, physical and emotional distress.
Loose teeth would cause a lot of emotional damage for me. All right, couple more super chats here. Bootleg Kev, thank you, Bootleg. They said Saban Lee minutes are gonna give me a heart attack. Thoughts on Ish coming back to keep killing it, guys. Thanks, Bootleg.
Bootleg Kev, a great podcaster. You can hear him on the radio here in town. Thanks for following and being here tonight, Kev.
Yes.
Saban Lee in general, yes. Tonight I enjoyed the dunk. I had some fun with Saban. It was real nasty.
It seemed like it was a little contagious too, because then everyone else was like, "Oh, let me get one."
That was
and
nasty.
then Grayson Allen tried. It made us all nervous.
Thought he died. Yeah.
I love how you framed it as this positive thing, and then it wound up nearly killing Grayson Allen. But no, like Saban Lee, you look at plus minus, he was a minus 12 in 13 minutes, but he was also on the court during those stretches where only one of the two from the big three were out there. Again, he'll get to the paint. That's what he does. He will get into the paint. What happens from there, it's in God's hands. But he had that one dunk was worth the price of admission tonight.
Why you gotta bring up my arch nemesis plus minus?
Because it does matter with the right context. It can be useful.
But when you put it in the hands of some of these people, the context goes out the window.
I always preface it with plus minus is a context dependent. All of these are context dependent stats.
Okay,
but nobody wants to hear me say that.
Fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. As far as the Ish Wainwright news goes, I think it's fine. I'm happy for Ish Wainwright.
Glad he's back.
Teo wasn't going to get any run. Ish probably won't really either. But you know what Ish Wainwright brings as far as the vibes, what type of locker room guy he is. clearly gets along with a lot of the guys on this team, and they like him, like having him around as well. Espo mentioned in the pregame show, he's another big body for practice as well, who knows everything or closer to maybe some of the stuff for these guys. So I'm happy with it.
It's one of those things, if you are really stressing about the 18th spot on this roster, like, go outside, grab a cool beverage, enjoy the wind on your face. Because, like, I don't know what to tell you. Nobody that they're going to get on the buyout market or on a 2-way contract at this point is going to save the season.
But John Wall.
God, help me.
Dwight Howard.
If I hear those names one more time.
We just will have to wait and see, you guys. All right, last super chat here for a minute is from Mile High Hustle. Thank you. They said, moved to Colorado from the East Valley 12 years ago. First in-person game in that time.
Nice.
You can believe Courtside Kid wasn't the only one saying bye. Didn't need Brad's shoes. I've got the memory.
Very nice.
We're glad. We'll give you credit as well. All right.
I will say there's usually a pretty good Suns contingent in Denver when the Suns play there. I remember a couple years ago when they were in the middle of the 64-win season, there was that game where Book went off and there were loud MVP chants because there were so many Suns fans. So we travel well if we only travel far enough to Denver. That's pretty solid.
Is that the only place that I feel like there's some places we have?
They're all like within the Southwest kind of region, but yeah.
Am I tripping that we have a small but mighty group in like Milwaukee? Is it Milwaukee?
It might have been Miami.
No, it was one of those like towns you never want to go
probably
to.
Milwaukee or Minnesota.
Milwaukee or Minnesota.
Or Indiana. Indiana.
It's just because it's so cold.
Or Utah.
Shots thrown left and right.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm just naming off places.
I feel like it was one of those.
Damn.
Now we had a pretty good group of people out there. I don't know, but either way, that's a fantastic first game to go to. So you picked a good one. Happy for you.
Hey Jacob, did you see my Slack message? Do we have what I sent to you? Just we'll get that. We'll get that in a second.
All right. Okay. Well, while we're working on getting that for you guys, I do want to remind you that the Phoenix Raceway is going to be hosting the Shriners Children's 500 March 8th through the 10th. Do not miss out as Phoenix Raceway and the Valley roars to life with NASCAR returning to Phoenix. The best in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. This is March 8th through the 10th. You can get your tickets to the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th for a weekend of good vibes for the entire family. Get your reserved grandstand tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
You know what that's the sound of, Gerald?
No.
Me running out of gas and racing over to Circle K when I realize I've got about that much left. Okay. All right.
I've been there before.
I was there the other day.
Best part is, though, Circle K is on like every block.
Exactly.
Got you covered.
And when I pull up, I know I'm getting 5 cents off because I'm part of that inner circle. I'm at that Espo level. You're going to start a little lower, but you do, when you sign up, get 5 fill-ups where you save 25 cents per gallon. Then you save 3 cents per gallon, and then you're going to save on a whole slew of Circle K items. Their pizza, their coffee, their ice-cold fountain drinks. You're going to get the 6th one free. It is my favorite place to stop. They are getting my child's college tuition fund all the time. I stop there. So join the... I spend a lot
all the time.
I spend a lot at Circle K. Let's say that. All right.
God.
So
I mean, they do have the best snacks.
That or
and the best fountain drinks.
That or I just know my daughter's going to get a scholarship to somewhere, and I don't need as much money.
Ro is super smart.
Join the inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I have one last thing that I want to bring up, if that's all right.
Yeah.
We have the capability to take a live look at the DNVR Nuggets crew right now. Do you want to check in at how they're doing over at DNVR?
Yes.
Jacob, cut the feed over to them. Can we take a look? Oh,
no.
Oh, no, the Nuggies are crying.
Damn, those are some sad
Love you
Nuggets.
guys. I love you guys. I better get it in now because I don't know if I'm going to be able to later. So I'm going to do it now.
We got to take it when we can.
Please don't clip this.
Emma, please feel free to show them.
Don't clip this.
Emma's in the chat talking about how she's going to only be wearing
Mhm.
PHNX and Suns gear when she makes the move to Denver.
We love it.
You
We're
go,
not-
Emma.
I love that it's
Don't
cute
let them
that she
bully you, Emma.
It's cute that she thinks we're actually going to let her move to Denver at some point here in the near
I know,
future.
right? It's going to be like, sorry, we just need you to come back for
Probably break that news to her
just a
soonish.
couple months, just a few days, maybe a couple years. I don't know. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Thank God.
I mean, honestly, yes.
Praise the Lord. No, I would love to see them keep this going. We've seen flashes. We've seen good games like this before. Now sustain this, like without Book, with Book, whatever. Like play with the same effort. You're not going to win every game, but you have a winnable game against Toronto coming up. You need to win that one. You need to win that one by a lot because they just got creamed by the Pelicans tonight. That's a game you should win, and then go into Boston feeling more confident.
Yeah, just don't have the regression, right? We've seen this. You play up to a team that's towards the top of the West, and then you play down to a team that's like the Raptors. Come out and handle your damn business at home on Thursday, so we all can take that big breath and go, all right, now let's see what they can do against the Celtics. It's a little bit of house money after getting the Denver win if you can get the Raptors win. So
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and getting to celebrate with some sexy sacks and an awesome chat after this Suns win. If you are here on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. It helps us out a lot. It's free and we appreciate it. If you are listening wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, and subscribe because samesies. Okay, we will have a show tomorrow at 3 p.m. for you guys to come plan to hang out with us then. But until we see you tomorrow, you can follow the show on social at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
remember, this show is a snapshot of a period of time. So please don't send me any clips from this if something happens in the playoffs between these two teams. Oh, hoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.